Morning.
Hey, hello, Lauren. How you doing? Hey, Ed.
Great. How is everyone?
Well,
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. Are you in Miami or Colombia?
I'm actually in Madrid today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good
I
afternoon
was
then.
yeah. I was in London last week. Met with Ed for a drink on Friday, and here for a couple of days. So yeah, just good to good to give a tour of these two great countries. So
Wow, super cool, super cool. Well, thanks for your time and Ed, thank you for all the logistics works. I know we've been trying to put this together for quite a while. Um,
indeed. You're welcome. No
So,
problem.
so you've done a lot of work to bring this to fruition. So I'll respect your time and let's just jump into it. I'm recording this so that we can take the transcript and put an article together. And Ed, I'll rely on you afterwards to get some photographs to me that we can use to go along with the piece. So Leonardo, congratulations. You're the, as I understand it, the new managing director for Latin America and the Caribbean for McLaren's. Is that correct?
yeah, that's correct. Actually, tomorrow is gonna be my first year since I joined as the with the current position. So I'm very happy for that. Yeah. I
Great,
survived
great.
the first year.
I'm sorry, what was that? I stepped on you there. I'm sorry.
No, no, I'm saying that I survived the first year. It's been a good, interesting year. So I'm glad that I made it through the first year. I'm sure I'll do many more here.
Great, great. So tell me about McLaren's presence in the region, in Latin America and the Caribbean more broadly, and then we can drill down into Colombia a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we own operations in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico, in Latin America, in Mexico, Panama, Colombia, Argentina, Chile, and Brazil. And we have some partners, exclusive partners in Peru, Ecuador, and Guatemala. So yeah, we have a very good footprint, pretty good presence throughout Latin and the Caribbean.
Impressive. So now you're from here in Colombia, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I was born in Colombia, and I moved to New York in 1997, and I've been in the U.S. since then, actually. But traveling to Latin America, very often due to work and family. But yeah, I'm originally from Colombia, so.
Great, great. How did you end up connecting with McLaren's?
Well, I'm a structural engineer by education, a structural civil engineer. So for many years, I worked as a structural engineer on the forensic end, doing investigation in collapses and looking at the nature of failures. So doing navigating the forensic world. I found McLaren's as my client. I used to work with a lot of the actually all of the adjusting firms that operate in the U.S. and in the region, and McLaren's was one of them. And I have to say, not because I work for them now, but McLaren's, gave me a lot of support on some really interesting losses in Chile after the earthquake in 2010, in Colombia, and in Brazil. So I was always very close to McLaren's. And when the opportunity came to replace the previous regional manager, I get a chance, and I'm very happy to be connected that way with them.
Okay, okay, impressive. Now, you mentioned, working on things like failure analysis and adjusting claims. Colombia is a fascinating country. We've seen uh, big projects like there was the bridge between Bogota and Viabo, the Charajara Bridge, I think. Obviously, we have the big Hidroituango situation right now. So I think that there are some unique things. So Colombia being in some ways an advanced nation, is part of OECD now. There are some tremendous projects going on down here, like the 4G highway project. Some of the tunnels are impressive. The tunnel that goes between the airport and outside of Medellin is a new project that's open. I think they're about to open up the second shaft that they built because the traffic is already so big. What are some of the unique um, challenges that and I'm sure that there's nothing that's only in one country, but what are some of the things that where Colombia stands out, or the it's especially challenging when it comes to ensuring, especially some of these mega projects that we're seeing down here due to the economic growth. But then a mega project can also create mega risk, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, Lauren. Yeah, very good question. So Colombia is located right in the middle of Latin America. You have towards the left Central America, and you have towards the right and down right the rest of South America. So the in Colombia you have this formation of the Andes pretty much that start down in Argentina, Chile, and in Colombia. And the three branches of the Andes mountains are pretty significant, pretty high, and they actually offer pretty significant challenges to the development of the country. Most of the Colombian territory has to cross these three branches of the Andes to get either to the Pacific or to the Caribbean coasts. So most of the cities are located on either side of this chain of mountains, and the geological challenges and topographical challenges have been for more than 100 years very significant, I guess, roadblocks to communicate every area of the country in terms of commerce and just transportation and population and all that. So building roads to connect all the major networks of production of the within Colombia, you have to cross these tremendous mountain chains. For that, there is only one way. You have to build bridges and tunnels and roads. So not only is the topographic nature of the challenges, but also geological. We have rain, we have earthquakes, we have volcanic activity in the region. So if you combine all these challenges, it makes it. You mentioned a few of the tunnels and bridges and projects that are very challenging to be built in the country. I think over the recent years, for Colombia to try to move our country forward, we have to move products across the region, and you have to build these tremendous projects, and engineering is very advanced in Colombia, I would say. But even for international companies coming to Colombia to build this actual work of art is a tremendous challenge that has to be at some point reinsured by reinsurance companies, otherwise they cannot be built.
Right, certainly. Yeah, that whole concept of when you have large projects, the idea of being able to spread the risk around, I think, is fundamental. You look at, it's very common to see insurance syndications. I think with the Ituango project, we have MAPFRE and Sura and other different companies involved. So speaking of that, let's talk about McLaren's presence specifically in Colombia and then in the region. I mean, Colombia is a fascinating country because you have mountains and then you have two oceans. You have jungle, you have cold areas. I've got a sweater on today up here outside of in Rio Negro. What is McLaren's sweet spot? What kind of risk does McLaren's focus on? Are they, different insurance companies often have kind of a sweet spot where some companies focus on maritime risk, other companies look at liability and casualty, other companies look at property and loss. What kind of what's the to use an insurance term, the risk appetite of McLaren's, and what kind of, and when should someone reach out to McLaren's, and where you might be able to really provide them with what they need?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, we for many years, traditionally, we have served the property line of business, which is buildings and, any asset that is pretty much operational. You can think of a bridge, of a power plant as something property, something that is built and is, up and working, running. So as I said, a lot of these risks, you can think of a factory, for instance. They are pretty much prompt to having fires or floods due to rains, or any other type of losses of the nature. So we operate in the arena for a long time. We look at a lot of equipment. If you can think of all the construction happening throughout the country, you have heavy machinery, every time more complex, big pieces of equipment moving around. So from time to time, either by operational or man-made errors or natural landslides or things like that, we have losses in that area as well. We have marine and cargo. We have an office in Barranquilla right now in the Caribbean side of Colombia. And you mentioned that we have two oceans. We have two big areas and several ports in the Caribbean side and one big one in the Pacific side. So we serve the marine industry, and also we have marine losses due to cargo arriving to the port, either that is damaged or just things that are being transported between the port and the interior part of Colombia. Because of the nature of the work that I've been doing for almost 25 years in construction and engineering, I'm pushing the lines of construction and having meetings, interesting meetings with some clients in the last couple of months about our expertise in construction. We have worked on construction losses, and I'm very interested in growing that line of business as well because we have a tremendous expertise, a global expertise. A lot of our reinsurance clients are located here in Madrid, London, or in the US. And I see that they are reinsuring major construction projects. So we have the expertise, the technology, and the know-how to really help our clients, the reinsurance companies, and also the insurers to bring them back to business as soon as possible. But also we are developing new lines of businesses, like for instance, cyber. We are penetrating the market a little bit on the cyber. Cyber is the today's risk, I guess. Not only in Latin America, but all over the world, we hear about hacking and data breaches and things like that. So we have a wide range of traditional lines of businesses like property and marine, but also we are penetrating some other ones, as I said, construction, financial lines, and cyber. And not only the local expertise, but also we partner with our international team of adjusters located in the US and in London that help us, manage these claims that are more complex and very not usual to the local market. So, we have a good spread of type of businesses that we can take care of, for our clients.
Impressive. Is there anything that I neglected to ask you that you wanted to mention to include? Let me finish with leaving this open-ended because maybe I missed something that you feel is important.
Well, that is important, I think, the way they use, I'm coming from I work for some of the most sophisticated engineering companies in the past. So something that I'm bringing to the region and to McLaren's is they use a lot of this technology to use in claims. For instance, we are using a lot 3D modeling of claims. The claims that we see in the region are very complex, very hard to understand. You have to see that not all the parties that interact during the management of a claim are technical people. So it's very nice when you have a picture that you can reproduce. You can imagine like a 3D model of a complex bridge or a complex, network of tunnels that you can actually represent that and show that to the clients to help them understand what actually happened during the loss. And so that helps us a lot tremendously. We are making big investments on technology. And the 3D modeling technology is something that I've been working for maybe the last 15 years in the design world. And now we are using some of that to help our clients make things easier to understand and speed up the resolution of a claim so the clients can pay it off, sooner rather than later, and that everyone is satisfied at the end of the day because they understood what actually happened. So I think we have big investment on that. I think during the pandemic also, it was very important to be able to perform and conduct remote inspections, to have somebody else going to the site without me from Miami or somebody from the UK or somebody from Madrid going to the site. We were able to monitor claims remotely, to drive through the site and use tools like Matterport, for instance, that we're using today. Matterport is a tool that pretty much scans your loss, and you're able to send that to the client so the client can walk through the loss as if you were there. So things like that, be able to be more efficient, to be faster, navigate through the losses, help the clients, not only the reinsurance clients, but also the insurer see what actually happened without having to go there. Is a big step between, from having just still pictures or drawings, especially with the claims that we see every day that are more complex in nature.
How do you spell that tool so that I make sure that I can
Yeah.
spell that
So
right?
Matterport is Matterport, Matterport.
Great, great. Okay,
Matterport,
wonderful.
and also we use Revit tools. Revit is a drafting tool that is used in the design of the most complex jobs throughout the world. We use that. We use Revit for claims, and it's something that is pretty unique of McLaren's. I've seen all the our competitors, and I can say that that we know how to use it, and we are ahead of that on from everybody else on implementing that technology in house.
Great. We've got a lot of material here to work with, Ed. Aside from a photograph of Leonardo, if there are any kind of supporting graphics or like even screenshots of the software tools, if they're a McLaren specialty or whatever kind of graphics, because this is going to be a pretty long interview. I don't want to cut out much at all. So if we can interject some different graphics and things in there to keep it visually lively, that'll be great. So now what'll happen, I'll send this to transcription, which usually takes about 2 weeks or so. They'll transcribe that and then get back to me the raw copy, and then I'll finish editing that into a final article. And of course, I'll give you a heads up as soon as we're going to publish. This will go into Finance Colombia. I may edit a shorter version that will run in Finance Americas, which is focused on the Caribbean and Central America as well. So, and of course, we'll link to McLaren's and any other kind of links or information you want me to include. We'll be glad to do that.
Excellent. Okay. Leo, we can chat separately about whether there's any sort of examples we can send across of the
Absolutely
stuff. If there's anything that's obviously, you can't send anything client specific, but if there's an example, let me know and I can send it over to Lauren. But otherwise, I'll get headshots over to you. And yeah, thank you. Really interesting to sit in and listen to the interview.
Wonderful. And anytime either of you are in Medellin, let me know and I'll buy you a coffee. Or if it's late afternoon, I'll buy you a beer.
Excellent. Yeah, you're good that you're in Medellin. We have we just hired a couple of people from Medellin, so yeah, absolutely.
Great. I've been here for 9 years now. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Okay.
Colombia. I love Medellin as well, for sure. Yeah, so we'll be in touch. Thanks a lot. I'll share with Ed. I'll communicate with Ed on the headshot and some of the images that you mentioned, and we can include those there. Absolutely. Yeah. Congrats on the publication. That is excellent. I've seen a few of the
thanks.
interviews and all information, and it's a pretty good job. So that's excellent. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, stay safe, everyone.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And we can catch up soon, right?
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.